Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Hexproof Reward. In this episode, we're going to discuss MagicCon Chicago, how it went, what we did, and if we're looking forward to next year. Today, we've got me, Sam, Josh, and Tracy. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Josh, MagicCon 2025, what'd you think?
I thought it was great. I think it was such an improvement of the use of space, like essentially having the whole lower level dedicated to the events and open play. I feel like that made it so the vendor area and the artist area wasn't too absurdly loud. There wasn't the intercom shouting for this event right here, everyone get over here. Like the use of space was so improved. It was a very enjoyable experience.
Sam, what'd you think? This was your second time. What'd you think?
Oh, I think it was a heap of a lot better than last year. It seemed more clean, a little more organized. The Aside from that, everything was an improvement. The waiting lines seemed to be a lot easier. It wasn't always a bum rush to all the vendors because everybody was coming from one area. It was all like nice out in the open, and I'm hoping they continue doing that.
Yeah, I think having everybody wait in line upstairs and having everything upstairs and then all the play downstairs, it really helped out. And then, when you've done it a couple of times and you figure out that, hey, we don't need to get there until later, and you kind of just hang out with your friends and don't put yourself in the cattle lines, it's way better. And then me, Josh, and Keith were able to find or me, Josh, and Tracy actually were able to find a little hiding spot to jam some games before we even headed in on the second day. So that was kind of nice. And if we're in the same place next year, we'll have to do it with the whole group for sure. Tracy, what did you
I
think of
agree with that.
time at your first time at MagicCon? What did you think?
It was very overwhelming, but yet exciting. I had a good time with y'all. Looking to possibly do it next year.
What was your favorite part of the event? It was your first time.
Just well, got to see the professor. Couldn't meet him, but got to see him and got to see a couple other ones like Jimmy and Danger, and seeing all the how much everybody is having a good time.
That's awesome. Sam, what ticketed events did you do?
I did I did a sealed Aether Drift Emperor event with my nephew and brother, and then I had a dual commander event and did unfortunately missed out on the cocktails and commanders, and then did a chaos recon event on that Sunday.
For the people that don't know, how does Empire or Emperor work?
Emperor works with you get two of your teammates, and you always have one emperor, and then you have two lieutenants. The the main thing is the general, the emperor, can only affect people within two seats of them. So either your person to your right, person to your left, and then the two other lieutenants. No one can target the emperors, and see the lieutenants. They can only affect people within seating of one. So basically, their emperor and then the enemy lieutenant on the other side of the table. To me, it's a very fun strategic game because you always want somebody who can bring something to the table, and the emperor can always keep their stuff protected. Also, the main thing that's also different is each creature has tap, and you can give that control to a teammate. So the only bad thing is if you have a lieutenant that has something and your other lieutenant wants it, it has to go through the emperor before it gets to the other lieutenant.
Mhm. How did that
Once
event
you
go
get,
for you guys?
oh, I think it went well. I didn't draft well at all, but every my brother and nephew they did really well. I simply made a zombie deck that was subpar at best, but anytime I made a bunch of creatures, I could tap and give them to somebody else and let them overwhelm that side of the table. As long as I was gaining life, I was keeping myself in the game.
Josh, what events did you do?
So the only event that I did was the Commander and Cocktail, where we built a commander deck from a essentially a chaos box, and that was a lot of fun. I wound up building a Yannette Esper odd CMC Matters deck, and I did pretty well with it. There's so I had an absolute blast with it. It was so fun to see like what people were able to come up with like a limited card pool and uh see the uh creativity of people playing in that format. Like you might you if you want to reiterate like my the uh like the what I always butcher his name, the person who runs it. Uh
Marshall.
Yes, like what he said about it and capturing like building that first deck. If you, I forget it verbatim. I think you might do it better justice.
Yeah, so he was talking about how it was something that he started with Sheldon Minry back in the day, where they would kind of get together and they would make some drinks and then they'd go find whatever packs that they had kind of just hanging around the house and then just kind of group them all together. Everybody would open packs and then everybody would make a commander deck and play and just have fun. And then gradually, like each time they'd get together, you'd open a couple more packs and then you could use those cards to build onto that deck and it just kind of became it's just a deck of packs and what chaos you can get out of the packs instead of going and buying singles, which is awesome, but it's really cool when everybody's kind of stuck with like, well, you get what you get and you can't have all of the best cards. You just kind of get to see everybody's creativity on the top of their off the top of their head. And I think that's why it was really cool to get a lot of us that were in the play group to do it and have a good time with it because we got to build them. We got to go and get our stuff the very first day, build our decks, and then play with them all weekend. So you kind of got to tweak a little bit with the other cards that you got out of the packs and things like that, and uh, really see how you could get your deck to move. And then when we got together and jammed on Sunday, it was just or Saturday night, it was just cool seeing what everybody came up with. And there were a couple people that were building decks like right there, like opening packs and playing right then and there on Saturday night. And I was like, my goodness. But that's one thing that I think if we do it again, we got to remember to, go and get our stuff that very first day since it's an all weekend kind of thing. I think we caught on to that. We got lucky that we caught that and we're able to go get our things, but it's nice to be able to play with them all weekend and then bring them on that last day and kind of really put the throttle down on them.
Yeah, like building the decks was fun, but like the day before, I couldn't imagine trying to attempt that with limited time and after a couple cocktails. Forget about it.
No, people were having a good time. I'll say people were having a good time and you could kind of see it at different tables and you could see who was everybody's there to have fun, and that was my favorite part. Tracy, what did you think about that event? Kind of just opening packs and
I
building a
enjoyed it.
deck right there.
That was pretty cool. With my limited, I had Josh help me on, uh, setting things up, but my deck, once it started popping off, it was great. It was very interesting to see the mechanics go, and it was just fun just taking and building a deck out of what you had in front of you. It's almost like what we did when I first started back with you during COVID, where we took that box and we created decks, and that's what we did. You know,
Yeah, we kind of got one of those treasure boxes off of Amazon and built from there, and we're able to make some really cool stuff. So, um, Sam, who was your commander for that event?
Mine was Zalortha, Strength Incarnate,
Okay.
basically just having high power creatures with not that big defense because once Zalortha was out, you didn't have to worry about how small their defense was because everything was affecting their power.
Okay. I ran Balmore, uh, and had some fun with it. Just kind of made a red blue instant and sorcery heavy deck and kind of built off from there. And Josh, you said who you ran. Tracy, who did you run again? You remember?
Uh, Zakar or Zakar or something like that.
Oh, it was Kaikar.
Tykar, yeah.
That's who it was. Yeah. Dude, that deck was dirty when you got it moving. That time when we were playing
Oh yeah.
in our secret spot, it was kind of it was fun.
Yeah. Did it feel weird playing a deck other than like big green Stompy?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was my go-to from most of the time has always been green. So yeah, going into the white, it was interesting.
Yeah.
So let's
Who
kind
doesn't
of
like to sling some spells, make some spirits, sack those spirits to sling some spells, and then just I think that's a good way to learn how to pay attention to triggers, but because good Lord, did you have a bunch of them?
Oh, I know. But I had to have mana to be able to pop them off. But once I was able to pop them off, it it the mechanics worked. So
yeah. Speaking of mana, it's kind of fun figuring out how everybody does their little calculations of figuring out how much they want to run in a deck. Do you remember how much you had in your deck, Josh?
Okay, so the my typically I t do 33 lands, 33 or like 10 rocks, 23 non-creatures and then 33 creatures, or I can like mess with those ratios depending if it's a spell slinger, I might invert the last two values. But in this case, I got Yannette and I needed, who's a three color commander, like white, blue, black. The issue was the lands in that mystery box were hot garbage. So I was like, I could only essentially use like the basics. The only dual colored land I got was the that comes into play tapped white black life gain one. It's like scored earth or something like that. But that was literally the only two color one in my colors. So then I wound up having to do like every iteration of Traveler's Amulet like cards just to get my mana base. So I was getting my teeth kicked in like the first five turns just to get my mana set up. But I mean like props of being in control colors is you can throw a board wipe down and get right back in with the boys. But it was a fun building experience, and it was a challenge to do that, and then have to be forced to slot in those mana fixing cards early.
What about you, Sam? How many did you run? Do you remember?
I ran like 29 lands because when I was play testing, if I had like 32 lands in, I would only draw lands, and that was just frustrating to me. So I knocked back to 29, and then I didn't have many mana rocks, so I was kind of gambling each time I was playing with it.
Living on the edge there, only 29 lands. I mean, say, oh my goodness. What was your commander again?
Zalartha, uh,
Zalartha. That's the name
yeah,
of it. Zalartha with 29 lands. Yeesh.
I had 33. I had 35 before, and Josh, or no, I had 40. And Josh was like, "That's too many." So I kind of got lucky. I got a couple like Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, a couple of nice two colored lands that immediately came into play, or you wait one turn and then they're good to go. Uh, so I did get blessed with nice lands, and I blew Josh's mind when I showed him what I had, along with my rocks. But that really was a fun event. I'm looking forward to trying to do that again next year, hopefully. Um, other than other than playing, what was something that was at the convention that you liked checking out? I really like the slot racing. I thought that was pretty cool. Uh, Getting to go to different planes and racing on those. I thought that was a cool idea. Tracy, what'd you like to do?
I like the artist area. I met up with Jeff a lot of Sting.
Rabenstein.
Um, Back in 23, yeah, I, back in 23, he drew a nice wizard on my playmat, and just to see his face light up when I handed him my playmat and didn't tell him it was that he drew it. He opened it up and seen it, and just, his face was priceless. So being able to meet him again, and then, meet some of the other authors, it was kind of neat.
Yeah, he is one of the nicest artists out there, and he travels a lot. I love seeing that guy and just telling him hi and seeing how he's doing and everything like that. He is so nice. Josh, what did you?
So, there were like a lot of like really cool features. I just liked the installations of like there's like a little Bloomberg. There's like it's so immersive. There's like a little like Bloomberg like little puzzle things where you like solve the puzzle and then you got like a fun little pin at the end of it. It was really immersive to like the different sceneries and stuff that they set up for like the different zones. It was really cool. There's also like a lot of fun like things that you could like have like little photo ops with, like a Ragavan stand, the podium that you were on top of for Aether Drift with your car racing skills. So it's just really fun to kind of like walk in and then like instantly be like immersed into like people-sized versions of like the art that we appreciate so much.
What about you, Sam? I know you were down jamming a lot. You were in a lot of different ticketed events. What was your favorite when you got out of the dungeon, as we call it, like in a nice way. We don't mean that in a bad way. When you came
Mine's tied. I did spend a little time in the D&D section because I do play D&D. I did like what they did there, but the best thing that I like doing is always doing the mystery boxes of all the vendors that do there because everybody has different style of mystery box where you can either dip your hand into a box, pull random packs out, or just trying to hit those big ticket items. Um, it really appeals to my gambling problem with cardboard somehow.
you're famous at one of the booths, aren't you?
Yeah, good games because back in what was it? 2 years ago where they had Magic Fest in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Reached in and pulled out two Exodus packs and opened one up and it had a City of Traders and they were like, that's a big deal.
I feel like they should put your picture up at that booth. That'd be pretty cool.
A lot of them shook my hand this time around because apparently they didn't get to see it when it happened, and apparently it's just a talk around the office. So it's kind of weird to see that.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool.
Nathan, what was your favorite thing other than gameplay at the MagicCon?
I really like the slot cars. I kind of just got immersed with going and meeting, doing the creator meetups and stuff like that, and just kind of talking to everybody and filling up my little passport book. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, just kind of getting to see where everybody's at, what everybody's doing, um, and meeting up with a lot of people that I've been able to talk with on, Twitter or Blue Sky and things like that. Um, Getting to see them in real life and for, the second or third year in a row and just kind of having that reunion um, is pretty awesome. That's my favorite part. You know, the gathering and getting together is always my favorite part, and being able to be at a place where everybody's nice to each other, everybody is happy that everybody's there, and everybody's got a smile on their face for the most part. Um, that's always my favorite part. Um, yeah.
You do like you're going to these events with you. It's always super impressive how you kind of can keep tabs on like the different people and like the different worlds that they're in Magic. If like you'll be like, oh, that person's an artist. They do the art for this card that you really like, or oh, this person has a podcast where they talk about XYZ that I mentioned to you before. It just like your like Rolodex of the who's who of the Magic world is always super impressive to me.
Has this innate ability of being able to pick out people of a crowd being like, "Oh, I've been looking for them like last year," and this time it was just like he found them right off the bat, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah, he's our little butterfly, just socializing everywhere. I mean, like this, we wouldn't have these episodes without him. So, like, props to him.
it's fun seeing people that I've, been following or talking to and things like that and being able to catch them. And it happened to me a couple times. I felt like a little golden retriever seeing something shiny and just being like, oh, it's Hermit, or oh, it's Inkling, or, it's just, just people that put a smile on your face and are super nice, and it's fun running into them. Tracy, what was your favorite place to go and eat outside of our hotel room with our Aldi grocery haul that we did? What was your favorite place to go eat?
The hot pot is the only place, besides on the way to and from Chicago. Um, but yeah, the hot pot was interesting. I think that, you know, having seven at the table, that was a little too much. I think maybe, if we had two tables, it would have been a little bit better. But I liked the food, and I liked all the fun times we had around it. Though it was interesting.
Yeah,
So, the issue was too many cooks.
yeah, they cooked at the table. Yeah, yeah. So Happy Lamb, that's the second year in a row we've gone on Friday night, and it's become like a little tradition that I love. And Sam might like it. I don't know, maybe. What
Oh,
do you
I
think?
love it. It's I think we can all agree when my nephew when so, I think Nathan was the one telling him that, "Oh yeah, that's just a nice mushroom. You should eat that."
Oh
Because
yeah,
and all given stance it looked like a mushroom.
I
And just
thought it was, to be completely honest with you, I thought it was a mushroom. I did not mean to give that boy a big old slice of ginger. That was unfortunate but hilarious at the same time.
yeah, he's scarred from it. He we went grocery shopping yesterday and I was like, "Oh, hey, mushrooms." He's like, "Oh, is it mushrooms?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe. I don't know."
They have red blue mushrooms. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a
that
little
was funny.
chaotic, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the chaos of it all, just because it wasn't like a bad chaos; it was a good one.
To commemorate, I think we need to do make some like hot pot food tokens or something. I feel like that'd be appropriate.
I think that would be a great idea. I'll have to reach out and ask some people about that. Tracy, we talked about this, and Sam and Josh and I talked about this in the first episode. What was your favorite pool that you got out of packs while we were at MagicCon? You can have more than one too.
Favorite one, what was it? The that one big huge one.
Edgar, did he pull an Edgar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Edgar.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is a vampire deck in your future then?
Oh, I already started working on that one.
Oh, heck yeah. Can't wait to play against it.
You got
Yeah,
the Lotus too, didn't you?
yeah. I got the jeweled lotus. I got the first two or three pulls that we did. I had some decent cards, but the jeweled lotus, and then that one that we were just talking about, they were the two biggest ones, and then and the my commander that I used was the third one. So it was all good all the way around.
You got a Radiant Lotus. You'd be
A raid.
less happy
Yeah,
if you
yeah, excuse me.
Monetarily was, but
Man of the
didn't he
Power.
also get the Aether Spark? Didn't someone pull that?
I think that was you. No, Keith.
Yeah,
Keith got the other
yeah.
spark.
Keith and my brother got one.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool.
I got a rock.
I got a rock.
People will laugh, but there is a token for that, and I think that'd be hilarious if that someone actually pulled that.
Oh, yeah, oh man, what's his name? The
Togar.
what?
I think it's Togar, the red guy, little red goblin.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, no, he in his rock collection. Gotta
Yep.
love that guy.
Josh, what was your if you remember your best game that you had during the weekend, what was your best game that stands out to you?
Oh, my best game was probably just during the It was like during the mystery box event with my Yannette. I was able to pull off a pretty fun move where there's like the 9 cost sorcery where you destroy uh, like all of target player's creatures, and then you draw a card for each creature destroyed that way. And then I was able to bring it back with the like the blue mount. I don't know if it's like a newt or what the heck it is, salamander or something or rather. And when you mount and swing with him, you get to give a sorcery in your graveyard flashback 0, and I was able to do that to another opponent, and then proceed to draw again. And I think I had like a reliquary tower or something, so I got to keep all those cards that I drew. So that was like kind of like the big explosive play that I would make, and it was a whole lot of fun to pull off. If you get playing a 9 cost sorcery and then getting it right back on the same turn for free after swing, or like that's just chef's kiss.
Tracy, what was your favorite game that you played?
When we were playing Commander and Cocktails, it lasted 2 hours, but uh, I almost won. It was down to like 9 lives left. But I halfway through the game, I laid out a board wipe that took everybody back down because everybody had um, their boards were just outlandish, and I took it all back down, and everybody started fresh. And then my deck started popping off. When it did, me and the other guy, that one of the cosplayers, he turned around, and it was between him and I. And if it wasn't for he had enough life, I would have won. But it was pretty cool.
Sam, what was your favorite game?
Uh, I would say my favorite one was I was playing with Crush the Blood Braided. Um, I had like 13 sapperlings out, but I had a Mazrik Crawl Death Priest, and I would sacrifice one guy to generate 1 mana with a Phyrexian Altar. And every time I was, sacrifice one guy, all my guys would get +1/+1 counters. And I was able to sacrifice all my saplings to cast spells. And then once those big guys started getting sacrificed and all that power was going to my commander, I was able to sacrifice him to with a fling, killed somebody. And then I had the Ozolith out. And then that went to somebody, went to a sapling, and then I flung that sapling to somebody, and then I just was able to just beat every single person in one turn just by flinging big creatures out.
Brutal.
Nice. Mine was the last game during the Commander and Cocktails 2. I had Balmore out. I had a Piranha Fly and a copy of the Piranha Fly. I had a Clinquit Sky Mage, and I had Zada. And then one of the people that I was playing with was like, "Man, you got to do something to Zada to pump it up, and so that way it goes to everybody." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And it took like 4 or 5 turns, and I finally drew bulk up, and I had full throttle in my hand for a while. So like two of the other people at the table, one of them had 25 life, one of them had something like 24, and then the third guy had I think 15 or 20, and I was down to 12. And when I played bulk up, I put it on Zada, which is doubling the target creature's power. So when I did that, it doubled everybody else's power. And then that first attack happened, and then everybody else's power went up again. Um, and did it again, and then it went up again and did it again, and it was crazy. And it was fun because it was kind of like that, last second Hail Mary, because they were trying to tell us to wrap up. We had about 5 minutes left, so it was I was like, here, okay, I'll target Zada and see what I can do, and just kind of wipe the board with it. And I looked over, and he was just like, so it was fun. It was a good game.
Kind of like pivoting, since we're Was there any like new like influencer or artist in the space that you got to like know better and appreciate during this MagicCon?
Would be a no from me, just because I wasn't focused on that this time around.
And I just wanted to like shout out like Leon Tucker, amazing magic artist. He's does a whole bunch of for like concept work, and he's going to be playing a big part in like he just does such a huge thing with the concept work, and he judged me in a silly little like draw art contest that I entered in. It was just drawing characters from memory. And I'm a decent doodler. I thought I'd have a shot at it, and then I was up against they are I was up against a pretty accomplished artist and got my butt absolutely handed to me. But Leon was kind enough to judge my scribbles, and then I got to talk to him afterwards and got a really cool artist blank of the armadillo that he drew from, or like he created for Thunder Junction. So it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, he was great. I got to meet him at one of the booths, and he drew a little uh, Thopter on one of my playmats that I have a lot of little sketches on. So he was an awesome person to meet. And then getting to meet Mark Rosewater and just kind of talking to him and thanking him for what he does and everything like that for the game and always being at panels and being open to talk about different things. That was awesome. And then getting to meet Gold Saber for the first time. Mix a lot of tokens, a lot of cool art, things like that. Those would be probably my top three, and then just catching up with Megan from Infinitokens. Inklin, uh, she made my token, so being able to catch up and see how things were going, and then talking with Hermit and just kind of catching up and seeing what was up. That was always fun. Tracy, I think I know what your answer is going to be.
Um,
Who's your favorite person you got to meet?
yeah, it was Jeff. That was my artist I liked.
What
And
about
then meeting Megan, and then what's that?
Lady Danger?
Oh, I love that. Uh, uh, I wish that, I could have sat down and been able to play a match with her, but um, didn't get to
Oh,
do
next time.
that. But maybe next time.
Yeah, always next time. If you could bring one kind of event or meet and greet or panel or something like that to next year to wrap it up, what would you say your idea would be, Sam? What's your pitch?
Oh man, man, I don't know. I'm so into the playing aspect. You're gonna have to let me sit on this one for a minute. Give somebody else a chance because I'm gonna have to really think about this one real quick.
Josh, what's your idea?
Okay, hear me out. So, you a commander event where you get a bunch of keywords like randomized and the colors of the commander identity randomized, and then you get this generated commander. I don't know if there'd be like automated app to do it, or if you're like you're rolling for a like a D&D character, but you have a randomized character with like legendary with randomized keywords. You might even get to doodle the art for him or something like that, but you have like a unique commander to you, and now you have to build a deck around it. I think that'd be a fun event.
That'd be awesome. Tracy, do you have any ideas?
Not really. I kind of like what Josh, is saying, but um, I think, with me being new and stuff like this, just, do more of what we did in Commander and Cocktails, where we take a box and just create what we can, to learn a little bit more and to have some fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think a Chaos Commander event where everybody gets a randomized box, but it's all cards of the same box. So you just kind of you get what set you get, and you got to build a commander deck from that set. We'll keep like master sets and stuff like that out of it, but just kind of maybe the 4 or 6 like most recent releases that aren't crazy high dollar releases, and then you just have to kind of build from there. I think that would be pretty cool. Sam, did you have enough time? If not, we can always come back next time.
Yeah, I would think, and it's kind of outlandish, but I think it'd be pretty cool if you would make, let's say, a budget, let's say a ticket event, but you had to make a deck list of a budgeted deck of, let's say, $100 or something like. It don't have to be anything specific, but like, um, but when you sit down to play with the people, you have to exchange the decks.
Oh,
So that way you are personally making a deck that you think you would like to play with. You think it's going to do really good, but the little twist of it is you have to let your opponent play with it, and then you have to figure out what they built and run and figure out how that deck works.
that
And
sounds
then at the end, do you
cool.
just like trade them like you're like soccer players and just giving away your jerseys or
Well, if you want to make it competitive, if you win, you get to keep that deck, and then the next person you play, you have to swap it, and then maybe go with that.
ante back in action?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That wouldn't upset people at all.
Well, guys, thanks for joining me on the second episode. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to us talk about our time at MagicCon. So, for Sam, Josh, Tracy, and myself, thanks again. We'll see you on the next one. Bye,
All
guys.
right.